Guess what I said Colm Cooper's in, going to interview him. Guess what everyone said, are you going to ask him about?
The dinner.
Ah, the dinner. So
His famous dinner.
I've left it to last because I think Joe Brolly was genuine when he texted you and said, I'm sorry for the way this has overshadowed things, because this has become too big for me. It's become too big a thing. But it's still an interesting talking point because you're the first one to do it, and the amateur ethos in GAA is kind of sacrosanct in certain ways. So I know you said in the Late Late Show idea first came 3 years ago. I'll give you my general thoughts on it, you know, and then come at me. So I think this struck a chord with people. I registered with people because it's the first one. First guy over the wall always gets a bit bloody. That happens.
Certainly in the GAA.
Yeah. And I think as well, because of the amounts of money we're talking about, like it's this weird murky world, GAA, where if someone heard that Cooper's having a dance or a night down in Killarney and he's going to get 10 or 15 grand out of it, I think we'd all say, Asher grand, you know.
Right.
But people see the big figure and they think, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money here, and almost this is the latest step on the road to professionalism in a way. That's, I think, people think, here we are, you know. And the thing is, where it's difficult for you, this is happening on so many fronts. You've got the sponsorship money coming into the championship. You've got players getting their own sponsorship deals. You're one of them down the years. You've been lucky enough to get them. You've got TV rights. You've got the volunteers having to hand over money to Rupert Murdoch. And that, you know, that doesn't sit well with people. And already the whole thing's a mess because you've managers getting paid. You've got players getting free cars. That's a lot of money. You've got jobs for the boys, lads being looked after and, you know, that kind of stuff. And you've got other lads in college for a decade and being helped out as well. So it's already a murky picture. And I think people looked at your testimonial and thought, God, that's a lot of money. And here we are creeping towards the next step towards professionalism. That is my take. I think it's very mixed. You say to anyone, but could you begrudge him it? And people tend to say, well, look, not really either, you know. Yeah. So I think there's
what's right and wrong is what you're asking. Probably
it's grey for me. It's grey. I've mixed feelings
about
it too.
I think it's grey for the GAA. Being honest, Joe. Look,
because they haven't got behind it and said
absolutely, and they don't endorse it. And look, I suppose you've covered the piece of there are managers being paid. We all know that there are players with endorsements, advertising campaigns, who are at front and centre on TV ads. So
there's money swirling around.
There is, and I think this blew up because people were talking about, geez, he's going to make 200,000 and all this. I think that got lost a little bit somewhere in between charity, Dr. Crokes and Kerry here. So maybe the figures that people are throwing out on what might happen, we don't know. But
have you decided percentages in your head?
Well, I know majority will be going to the two charities and to Kerry and Dr. Crokes.
Really?
Until the night, we won't know what that's going to be, because
when you say majority percentage term, give or take,
over 50%, what that's going to be, I don't know, Joe, because we don't, at the moment we're about 95% full, so it's looking like we will have a full house, and the response in the last week, 10 days has been really, really good. And the thing about this is we were going into the unknown here. We didn't know if there was any appetite for this. Being a GAA player, I was lucky enough to go to Brian O'Driscoll's, I was lucky enough to go to Rowan O'Gara's down in Cork. I was saying to myself, wouldn't it be brilliant if we like people, the guys were saying, would you be interested? And when I went to these guys, I said, look, here's an opportunity that's a celebration of Irish sport, of careers. You can you can make money and give money to people along the way. I was surprised, and I didn't see the big
people can
fuss afterwards, and maybe I underestimated that.
Maybe you did, and that's understandable in many ways. I mean, people can go, well, look, why not give it all to charity? You know, why, like, there's a money grab here kind of a attitude.
But it's a testimonial event, not a charity event. You know, so look, I wanted to give money to as many people as I could. For me, if you read the book, Dr. Crokes and Kerry were very much central in my life.
And look, you say in the book, and I believe it, you'll be that old guy with dodgy hips putting out the cones for the kids.
Yeah,
you know, and it's clear from, like, there's some beautiful passages around Crokes winning, like really lovely stuff, and what the people are mean to you. So I don't. You're not the guy who's going, well, sod the club. I know you're not.
Yeah,
and that's pretty obvious to me. Like, on professionalism,
is your concern, Joe, where this could go or where it leads to?
I don't have a problem with it, really.
Right.
In truth.
I
think there's a hypocrisy going on in some respects, the way it's been talked about.
I would agree.
I think there's a lot of money. I think it's also a lot of money. Like, for instance, I just feel the biggest issue people have with it would be, that I would think is fair enough, is it's probably the latest, it's the next step towards the end of the amateur ethos. Yeah. Because the money is so big. you know, like you could have a testimonial halfway through your career, potentially. I'm not talking about you.
Yeah.
But say the next player is looking at this and goes, if I have a testimonial at 26, corporate Ireland buys in, I make X amount, I could pay myself 40 grand a year. I could do half my career full time as a pro.
Yeah.
And so I just think maybe people look at it and go, God, we're heading towards professionalism. Like that'd be I'm trying to figure out why people have a problem with it. I think that'd be it.
Yeah, and look, and I respect people's decision here, and no one's been forced to go to this event, by the way, as well. You know, so it's a completely optional thing. I suppose just to say as well, when we think back 20 years ago when the GPA reformed or whenever that was, I'm not exactly sure how many years ago, people were saying, "Oh, this is professionalism coming into the GA. If the players have their own union, they're going to be asking for money, and they're not going to play, and there's going to be strikes and all that." It hasn't happened. So people are using the words around new phenomenon. No one might ever do this. Someone else might retire next year, and they might do it. We don't know. I've decided to do it because I think there's an opportunity for a GA player here to, I suppose, when rugby guys do it, like the GA is so big in this country, I think we should celebrate our stars, and I've no problem in saying that. People will disagree with me, and that's where I'm coming from. And if we can raise some money for people along the way, I'm just saying, why not?
And do you regret it all? Like, given all the fuss, would you think to yourself, God, this actually hasn't been worth the hassle?
No. Just look, I like I said, I was surprised, and I probably underestimated the euphoria that would surround the event. But look, I'm glad it's going ahead. I'm honoured to be the first GA player. And I know it's going to be a real success on the 27th.
I got you make the point in the book on that whole topic of professionalism. You make the point that the GA has done very well to keep it at arm's length for so long. You talk about the GPA as well and a culture of appeasement. You know, you reference a conversation with Tommy Walsh, who'd been in Australia and seen like a players' organisation, a union should be at loggerheads, not inside the tent. Would you like to see GA go professional?
I think it would be very difficult and very dangerous to go professional, Joe, to be honest. I think I'd put it like this: if Colm Cooper was a Kerry footballer, would Colm Cooper be playing for Dr. Crokes?
No, and there wouldn't be 32 counties either.
Absolutely. So I think it would be a very dangerous thing to go there. How it all would work, how sustainable would it be? I'm not quite sure. Would counties from different areas have the same resources as a Dublin or a Kerry or a Cork and things like that? How all that would work? I think it's a long way off yet.
Well, I'd say we could only support about 10 teams anyway.
Yeah,
really. I mean, you've got four provinces, and
and that's not what the GA is built on. So I don't see it happening in the short term, certainly.